Morning, Steve Ray in Chicago with the morning grain news. The markets are sharply higher overnight, led by wheat up about 40 to 50 cents. Corn market's up about 18 cents, while beans up 12 to 13 cents. The main news over the weekend was that a drone had attacked Russia's largest minesweeper in the Black Sea, which quickly Russia responded by closing the export corridor in Ukraine and missile strikes in Ukraine. There is some vessels that are moving out, and Ukraine can move about 3 million tons a month of grain by rail to Europe. But the market response was pretty quick, especially with the managed funds short about 39,000 contracts of Chicago wheat. Now after that, this week we have the Fed meeting, which they're supposed to raise rates 75 basis points. We've seen the stock market rally, mostly I think from short covering, and thinking that the midterm elections, GOP will gain control of Congress. But we also saw some disappointing earnings, and we'll see down the road just what higher rates means to the economy. We'll also be watching Europe's CPI data was increased and record high. And then we'll be watching China's economic situation with COVID restrictions and becoming a little bit less dependent on imports of raw material than in the past. And a very strict communist rule under Xi's new terms. Then we've got the midterm elections. And as I mentioned, I think that the money thinks the GOP will at least take over the House and maybe the Senate. So that's extremely important election for the psychology of the stock market. Commodity markets have been trading lower. I'm concerned about demand, and we'll see if that continues to push prices lower. I think in the long run, when we talk about wheat prices at $9.70 in Kansas City wheat, that's a pretty high price if 2023 weather and crop conditions are favorable. Just a $7 D's corn is pretty high, and $14 January beans are also fairly high. So we'll see if there's any follow through on this Ukraine news on the upside. Farmers are still not selling. End users, especially domestic feeders, crushers, soybean crushers, are looking for corn and beans with good margins. And then we got, from a weather standpoint, there is a system next week that could go through the southern plains. It looks like it's not going to be a good rain event. We've got a rain event right now moving across the Midwest. It has more rain for the western Corn Belt than the Mississippi River and eastern Corn Belt. We also note a few showers in Argentina, but it'll be probably next weekend before they get another rain event, which is a concern from a weather standpoint. And Eastern Australia is finally going to get a break from all the rain they've got, but the damage may have already been done. Long term, the market expects an increase in corn supply and bean supply next year, lower southern hemisphere wheat, and we'll just see what the northern hemisphere wheat conditions are. But again, overall, demand is declining due to higher prices, inflation, recession, and just lower consumer demand. Have a good trading day, and remember, things are going to get extremely volatile over the next 9 days.